It is time for Sporting a Cause on an absolutely beautiful Sunday morning. No humidity, lots of sunshine, a light breeze. Sporting a Cause, of course, is hosted by Willie Hallihan. Willie has the website, sportingacause.com, where there's fundraising events that are all somehow tied to athletics. Good morning, Willie.
Good morning, Marshall. Yeah, it is a glorious day, and let the golfers rejoice, and everybody else for that matter. It's going to be a great day to be out and about. It's all good, and there are a lot of events going on to talk about, and much more coming up in the next couple of weeks. I mean, I'll do kind of a preview of that at the end because, as I've always said, September is the busiest month on my calendar and a lot of others, and it's certainly reflected at the very beginning, but I'll get to that in a second. Today, the overdose awareness walk is taking place on the walkway over the Hudson over in Poughkeepsie. And this is good to see. The walkway over the Hudson, as many people may or may not know, it's a New York State park. They converted an old railroad trestle into this bridge, basically, that spans the Hudson River. It's a 1.25 mile span. It's perfect to run a 5K out and back, and walkathons take advantage of it, but it's been closed down during the pandemic. It's recently reopened. This is a great sign of things getting better, and I hope that maintains. But anyway, the Overdose Awareness Walk is one of the events that's using it, and it's organized by and benefits the Matt Herring Foundation to provide assistance for people with addictions and their families. And Matt Herring was a young man who lost his life to opioid addiction, and his family started a foundation in his name to help others. And I think it takes a particular brand of courage for a family to say, look, my child died of overdose, and we want to help others in his name get over it. And there's a stigma, I think, about overdose, and so it's brave to say, look, this is what my child died of, and we want to dispel the stigma associated with this disease, and it's important work. So good for them. I hope they raise a lot of money. Tomorrow, Monday, the Goshen Fire Company holds their annual golf tournament over at the Torrington Country Club. And next Friday, the Sheffield Fire Company does the same. They're holding their golf tournament at Copake Country Club. And next Saturday, there's a lot going on. The Undermountain Open and Club Championship is happening at Undermountain Golf Course. And the club underwrites a whole basket of causes. Also next Saturday, this is a new event. It's called the Highly Caffeinated 5K and Music Festival. This is going on at March Farm in Bethlehem, Connecticut. And it's, like I said, an inaugural event sponsored by Connecticut's Highly Caffeinated Triathlon team. And the proceeds of this race are going to the Connecticut chapter of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And we all know that that's a very worthy cause. And, in the spirit of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Marshall, I've read over time, but it was most recently I saw where John Cena, the actor, I don't know if you know him, he's a WWE pro wrestler. I guess he's at the top of his game. It's not a sport I follow, but he's considered one of the best, and he segued into acting. You see him in commercials and action movies, and he's got a new movie coming out. He's very, very popular. But he holds the distinction of, he has the record for the most Make-A-Wish events. He has participated in over 650 Make-A-Wish events. That's where kids, their wish is they have all kinds of wishes, but many of them, clearly he's popular among the young set, boys, I'm sure, but their wish is to meet him, and he's done it over 650 times. He never says no, so a remarkable record and good for him. Anyway, the highly caffeinated people are hoping to raise $20,000 at this race for the Connecticut Make-A-Wish Foundation. Also next Saturday. Next Saturday is a busy day. This is another inaugural event. This is the first annual Archie Barney Memorial Golf Tournament with a twist. I spoke about this before. It's at the Canaan Country Club. This is a 4-person, 9-hole event, but you can only use 3 clubs. This is to reflect one of Archie Barney's quirky ways. He was a longtime fixture at the club, and he passed away this past year. And the folks at the Canaan Country Club have organized this tournament in his honor, and they're starting a scholarship fund in his name to teach kids how to golf. And I've been told that there's so much interest in this that they're looking to add a second flight so that it can accommodate more golfers. I'll get the details on these changes and have the new information up on my website. The entry fee is a very reasonable $60 per person. That includes a barbecue lunch. Also next Saturday is Copake Falls Day. This is a day-long town-wide celebration with all kinds of things going on, but it starts off with a 5K race. It costs only $15. You can pay to register that morning, and the proceeds all go to the Harlem Valley Rail Trail. You may or may not know that this past years, I guess, the rail trail has been working to complete the Copake Falls section of the trail, and this race in the past has supported that effort, and now the trail is completed, but the race is still giving money to the rail trail because there are all kinds of maintenance costs to it, and that too is a very worthy cause. Also next Saturday, another event is the Mumbet Walk to Freedom. This is in Sheffield, Massachusetts. This is a 4-mile walk. It starts at the Colonel Ashley House in Ashley Falls and ends at the Sedgwick House in Great Barrington. The walk is in honor of Elizabeth Mumbet Freeman. She was a slave. She was a slave in the Ashley household, and she walked this 4-mile route to retain Theodore Sedgwick's help. I think he was a lawyer. She sought his help to help her earn her freedom. It's a very cool story. And the Elizabeth Freeman Center in Great Barrington is named after her, and this is a well-known organization up in Massachusetts. It does very important work helping women in crisis. Their mission is actually very similar to organizations we may be more familiar with, like Women's Support Services and the Susan B. Anthony Project in Litchfield County. Anyway, the walk is free, but attendees are encouraged to fundraise. They're raising money for a basket of African American focused causes, and that walk starts at 10. Now, the following weekend, Marshall, all hell's going to break loose. There are like a half a dozen golf tournaments coming up. The Dutchess County Fair has its 5-day run pretty much up to the end of the month. We're looking at Labor Day weekend. How did that happen? The Historic Festival at Lime Rock Park is coming over that weekend, and that starts off with that remarkable vintage car race. You know this well because the radio stations covered it. The parade, these are very expensive and rare, many of them vintage race cars. They line up in a parade from Lime Rock Park. They go through Lakeville and Salisbury, and they end up in Falls Village. And I call I know you've been set up there and have watched this many, many years. I call it the most intense and stressful quarter hour of my year because there's a crew of us from SWASA that park 130 of these very old and very valuable race cars. They all come in one after another, bumper to bumper, faster probably than they should, and all 130 of them are parked in about a 15-minute span. So it's very stressful. And then it turns into basically a car show, and there are booths and tents set up with vendors and food and beverages, and Wanda Houston usually sings there. It's a great time, and that starts off the whole vintage weekend. The Goshen Fair is going on over Labor Day weekend, and if that isn't enough, the Upper Housatonic area starts its month-long series of walking events. It goes on the whole month of September, and there are like 15 to 20 events per weekend, every Saturday and Sunday, around the southern Berkshire and Upper Litchfield County areas. There are these guided walks. There's an expert that guides each one that shows people all kinds of historic and natural areas that we might not know about. So September's the busiest month. I say it all the time, and it's never more evident than that first weekend of September.
You know, when you talk about parking those cars, I don't know how you guys do it because the cars are all unmuffled, and you can't, between smelling the gas and then trying to explain where they should pull, I don't know how anybody can hear you guys.
Yeah, well, it's all visual, you know, and even if they could hear, some of these drivers don't listen to what they're telling them, you know, because they can't stop. We've learned over the years is these cars, many of them are race cars. They have race car engines, and they're geared in a way that they just can't sit still and idle. They have to keep revving and keep moving, and if there's a glitch in the system, so to speak, and the cars have to stop, it's problematic. So it's very important just to keep the flow moving, and we're parking these cars in kind of herringbone fashion on both sides of the road. That before the cars come in, the town people have cleared the entire downtown area of Falls Village from cars. There's no cars parked there. It's totally empty. So then when they start coming in, we can just kind of go through it. But it's very quick, very intense, and but we've done it for several years now with zero loss of life.
That's right. And zero loss of cars.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Willie, I want you to go out there and hit that golf ball straight down the fairway today.
Well, I'll try, Marshall. I will try. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care.
Willie Hallihan, Sporting a Cause, sportingacause.com on the web.